Coach, what was the thing you were most impressed about your team's performance in tonight's game?
I don't know that I was totally impressed about too much, but I do think this. I thought after the first 4 minutes of the first half and the first 2 minutes of the second half, I thought we actually guarded pretty well. You know, and you guys would probably know as good as me, but they made 8 threes and 6 of them were on our 2 bigs. So you know, we got to do a better job of getting the shooters. And you know, that's something we've emphasized, but obviously that was certainly an issue tonight. But you know, we did shoot the ball well, but you know, Marcus was terrific, and Ochai, once he got in the flow, was okay and played well, and I thought our freshmen did fine. So you know, playing without Devon and Isaiah, and you know, those two would probably be, you know, in our top 3 both as far as 3-point shooters, and to have them out there, not have them out there when a team, you know, backs off like that and defends the post, I think could have made a little bit of a difference as well.
CJ?
Bill, how did you think you guys played to your post angles and throwing the ball inside?
Well, there was no opportunities to do that. There were a few in the second half, you know, when they get caught high side or whatever. We actually did a better job of that. But the first half, you know, you played dead behind, and then you come down and trap with the top guy or whatever. You know, the post guys just need to be passers the first half, especially when we didn't do enough to stretch the defense. But I mean, they did fine.
Mitch play, did you find out something that allows him to play and still redshirt?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, the rule, I'm almost positive, used to be only freshmen could do that. But we got an interpretation yesterday that Mitch could play. So that's still a strong possibility that could occur.
Coach, you mentioned the freshman. I'm just curious with Christian. Seemed like good activity level in the first half. What did you see out of him?
With Christian? Yeah, we need to say CB or Tristan because I get them confused. I think that, you know, he shot the ball. You know, he made 2 threes. But I thought he was fine. I thought he was fine. You know, I've never seen a guy guard a side out of bounds like this, you know, though with 1 second to get to cross half court. That wasn't the smartest play. But yeah, I thought he did fine. And I actually thought, you know, Tristan, as you guys can see, he's so long. If he could just amp it up another, you know, gear, he could really be effective defensively and keeping balls alive. But he just got that pace that doesn't allow him to get there, but he will. And then you know, Jalen's aggressive. He didn't shoot it well tonight, but he's a good shooter. So I thought they all did fine.
Coach, you mentioned that it would be one of the 3 freshmen that started. Was there anything about Jalen that earned him that spot tonight?
Absolutely not. Yeah. Not one thing. And he didn't start the second half. I think Christian did, but no, there was not anything. None of the freshmen will start as long as we're healthy. At least initially. I mean, I'm not saying that couldn't change, but when we line up to go play in the Garden, none of those guys will start. And I wouldn't think that Isaiah would either. You know, it'd be hard to take Marcus Garrett off the floor. You know, so but they will all have roles and all be part of a rotation. You know, but I think with the freshmen, it'll be at least early on, whoever's performing the best those particular nights will probably get the most minutes.
Yeah, and with the steals that Marcus and Ochai got tonight that kind of ignited runs and things like that, I mean, is that just veterans knowing it or them specifically?
Well, even Ochai told him afterwards, and I said this, Ochai, why'd you get 2 dunks? He said, because Marcus pressured the ball, and then it makes it easy to run through a pass. But the young guys, you know, Tristan was close to getting a couple, and they threw a couple right by CB's nose almost that he could have got, and we just got to be more alert to do that.
Marcus was saying that he thinks he figured something out with the shot in the offseason. Do you think he's made that next step with his shot?
I do think it's much improved. Yeah, there's no question. I haven't talked to him to the point where he's figured anything out. But he has worked on it awfully hard, and it does look a little different from a technique standpoint than it did last year. So you know, and if he can be a threat to shoot, you know, above 30 from 3, which I think he can, you know, that'll change how people have to guard us for sure. But as you guys know, if you don't shoot it good and you got 2 bigs in the game that don't stretch it, the court's pretty crowded. So we've got to have some guys around those guys that are all threats at all times.
Ben?
Udoka hasn't played in a real game in, probably about 10 months or something like that. What'd you think about how he was able to play?
I didn't think he played well at all, but if you go back and look at Doak's stats in exhibition games historically, they haven't been very good. I asked him, would you rather play against an SEC team or an exhibition game? He said SEC every day because they were going to play two bigs and played little guys underneath, and he doesn't get angles. And the thing that he's got to improve on, obviously, it's very apparent to, I think, anybody that saw the game, is his energy level was certainly affected by how he didn't get much done on the offensive end because of the way they played. And so that can't happen. You can't go down to the other bench and say, would you please play this way? But the reality of it is, in most games, they're not going to play like that and dare you to shoot the ball like Fort Hays. That was a smart way to play us.
Anything else? Oh, Gary?
How is Dotson and Isaiah physically? When do you think they'll be back?
I think Dot will be back sometime this weekend. Maybe not 100%, but close. And Isaiah, we're hoping that he can get on the court this weekend, but he'll be probably still in a limited capacity. We think he's a little bit further away from being full go.
Hey, Bill, what did you think about Sylvia when he was playing next to Doak?
And didn't it's a bad start, and they didn't help. I didn't think they helped each other much at all early. I thought he was certainly better late, but I didn't think Silvio played to a really high energy or a real high athletic ability, and he's got to improve on that. And the other thing is the way they played this, and it's guys are nervous and everything, but Silvio was catching the ball at 22 feet when he could have caught it at 14. And that 14, 15 footer is a good shot for him. We'll work on that stuff, and I think that's stuff that we can iron out.
Yeah.
If they play, if anybody else continues to play like that.
Last time we saw Silvio, you guys were mostly playing him at the 5 at the end of the 17 season. So what are some of the things that you guys are asking him to do differently in order?
You got to guard a guard, and he doesn't. Or Doak doesn't, and David doesn't. So we may be better off playing him at the 5 and playing David at the 5 and rotating those three guys. To be honest with you, because if those guys can't defend 4, then their effectiveness would be okay. Let's play a big zone, or let's just get ready to play 2 bigs in the games in which other teams play 2 bigs. And there will be a few, but not a lot, I don't think. And so that's the thing that is the biggest concern. We can talk about, shooting the ball or anything like that. Those guys making shots isn't going to equate to what the 4-man on the other team can do making shots. So if Silvio makes 1 3 a game and David combined to make 1 3 a game, that's irrelevant if the other team's 4-man's making 4. So those are the things that we got to improve on. They got to be able to defend on the perimeter, and it's really not their fault because they've never really had to do it. But we got to get good at that.
One more, Gary.
When you recruited Marcus, was he exclusively a point for his high school team?
No. He'll tell you that. But he was a jack of all trades. I mean, Paul played him, moved him around, and played him everywhere. But Marcus has always been good with the ball, though.
All right, Coach.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Coach.
Thanks.